Welcome to another great episode. If you are a returning listener slash watcher, welcome back. And if you are new, welcome to the podcast, the channel. This gets uploaded in different platforms. So whether you're listening to it on Spotify or here on YouTube, watching it on YouTube, just want to welcome everybody. And I very excited to be, as always, back on the mic and trying to really be more consistent with these things. Obviously, there's a lot of importance for getting these stuff out there on many levels and for many reasons, of course. And it's also really good for me to practice sharing these things in this way, because it is in a way very new as far as opening up the channel and just allowing things to flow through here. It's a very different and unique experience for myself, at least. And so, but anyway, for today's topic, I really am wanting to also get to the point. I realized in my previous video, sometimes I get takes me a little bit to get there, and I just want to say thank you for your patience for that. Again, I'm just learning here on how to do this, so thank you for your patience. But basically what I want to talk about today is it's around the alignment of the planets in our solar system that's going to be happening on the 25th of January 2025, and just what it means. I know there's a lot of stuff out there, and perhaps it can be a little overwhelming. I don't know. For myself, what I do when it comes to these things is I just tap into my own energy, my own source. And that can look like very different for everybody. For me, it's meditation. For me, sometimes it's being out in nature and just being away from any distractions, away from my phone, away from everything, and just being present and asking, or sometimes not even asking, but just receiving different types of information, receiving different types of guidance and things like this. So it does vary. I do believe and have experienced, continue to experience within myself that, like everything else, the more you do it, the better you get at it, but also the more in tune it becomes. As far as when we talk about tuning into the universe, tuning into the energy that's going around, or even all the many different technologies and practices out there, right? Like yoga, mantras, meditation, so on. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Energy healing, Reiki. And so no matter what, right, no matter what it's important to understand, like, it is an engagement, right? Like, we are engaging with those energies, because everything is energy. So these technologies, or I call them technology, right? Just to put it into words. But these remedies, these technologies, they are frequencies. They are different types of energy, and you can tap into it, of course. However, I do think that it also depicts, or it varies on where your frequency is, what's your energy. That varies as to how deep you're going to be able to connect. And there's a lot of reasons for that. One being, sometimes we have to attune ourselves, right, in order to be able to go deeper with these energies. And so if we are vibrating at a lower frequency than what we are engaging with, it doesn't mean that we cannot engage with it. I want to be clear about that. It just means that we're only going to be able to get as far as we can handle physically, emotionally, and energetically in itself. And so the more you engage with these different types of connections, then the more you start to tune your body, the more you start to tune yourself to it, and it starts to open. You're able to go deeper within the practices. And so why am I saying this? Because while there is a lot of stuff out there, and there is, I feel, a big discussion around many things energetically it's happening right now on this planet and out in the cosmos, I do see, and I have seen, that sometimes, people will hear about it and they will, at a surface level, only engage with those events or those technologies, those remedies, which is fine. Again, all I'm saying is just that you're not going to be able to get the most out of it. You're not going to be able to truly connect as deep as you could connect with it. And so I feel like this is important to state, because there is a lot of, I have seen and heard, a lot of different things expressed from other people that, okay, on this day, like meditate, like set your intentions and all this stuff. And it's great. Again, there's no judgment here. I just want to be clear. But I do want to be fair and just be very transparent also, that yes, absolutely, you can do that. Yes, absolutely, is good. It's better than nothing, right? But if you're not doing these practices, or you don't have a depth with these practices, if you have a hard time just sitting in meditation for 10-15 minutes, then it's one of those things, that it's gonna be it's gonna be different as far as like how much you're gonna be able to feel within all of this these energies. However, okay, I'm going to share with you some tips and some things that I feel that will be able to help you, especially this coming up tomorrow, which is tomorrow. I got to upload this fast. But it's not just about tomorrow, because it's going to be from tomorrow onward, because there is going to be also another alignment that's going to be happening in February as well. So it's not just like the one day and like tomorrow, Saturday the 25th, and then if you missed it, you missed it. No, like that's when the energy opens, right? That's when the cycle completes. And so let's go a little bit into that, because basically that's what this is. It's a cycle, right? As you know, all these planets in our solar system, they rotate around the sun, including ourselves, right? And then the sun is also rotating on a larger scale, so everything is moving. But this is more around the planets in our system, and the full rotation that it takes for all the planets to be in aligned, like in a line, basically, for all the planets, it takes over 250 years for this to happen. So that's how long it takes for a full rotation to be completed to the point of where all the planets are in alignment. So yes, that's awesome. That's amazing, right? I mean, like, just on an idea of, on the fact that the last time this happened was over 200 years ago, and we get to witness it in itself is quite remarkable, right? But furthermore, it's also important to note that within the past 200 years, a lot has happened as far as not just obviously in our planet with humanity, but also in the cosmos. And our connection with technology, like with science, of understanding the cosmos, the universe, but also spiritually as well. We are in a time where, for the first time, as I've said many times before, science is also looking at spirituality, and there's some crossing over that's happening for the first time in ever. And that's quite remarkable as well, because science is limited. And not only is it limited, but also it's very much coming from a state of logic and the mind, right? And then, there are things that there are a lot of hypotheses or theories, right? Which is interesting that there's enough evidence or enough understanding of things that it can be recognized as an idea, as a probability, as a theory. But it's not also 100% certain as well. So anyway, so within all of this, why I'm bringing this up is because within science, right, there's always this understanding that energy cannot be created nor destroyed. That can only be transmuted or transformed from one aspect into another. And therefore, everything is energy, right? Which is true. Everything, it's vibrating in the universe in some way, shape, or form, measurable with science, with the idea that is energy, right? That is recognized. Even if it's like the fabric of space, that it's expanding, right? That where everything is being held. It's called the fabric of space. We know this because we are able to measure that. We're able to put it into measurement, which means that it's alive, that there's things happening there. Okay. So within all of this, there's a lot of ancient wisdom when it comes to the cosmos. And you can look at this pretty much every major civilization that has existed, from the Mayan culture in Central America. There were very big cosmic people. The Mayan calendar is quite precise and very advanced for their time. This is how we look at things. But their understanding of the stars was quite pronounced. And the same can be found in different parts of South America as well, such as Machu Picchu, in Peru, and so many different tribes of indigenous tribes throughout South America that had and have this understanding of the stars. And then moving on to Asia, moving on to different parts of Asia as well, and India being a big one as well, with astronomy as well, and horoscope and all these things, right? And the list goes on. It goes on and on and on. And so, well, it's almost like science is catching up to those things, to those ancient, to that ancient wisdom, right? And so, within that, what I mean by this is that we are also, humanity, as we are awakening, as we are connecting spiritually more again. And I say again because this is not the first time, but it's different. We're connecting again in this version of the evolution of humanity with the energies that are present in this time, right? Which is different, including with what we have, the understanding with science as well. And so within all of this, we are also made out of stars, right? There is this interesting understanding that I feel like oftentimes we all forget that we are part of not just this planet, but we are part of the universe, and it's all connected because it's all engaging with everything. We are engaging with everything, whether we are conscious about it is another thing, but we are. And so that's when we take the journey inward and we start to connect more with our own self. We are discovering what we are capable of. In other words, we are getting in touch and in tune with not only just our own vibration, but in the discovery of our own vibration, of our own energy, we are learning energy through our own self. And therefore, within that discovery and acknowledgement and journey, it reflects outward into how we perceive life, essentially. And so this is important because the more we do this, as we have been, there's been a lot of awakening, there's been a lot of conscious elevation of consciousness. People are starting to tap into things like the Akashic records, for instance. People are tapping more into the idea of past lives. Excuse me. People are also tapping into like quantum fields, or the idea of quantum travel or quantum energy, which is all the possibilities that exist all at once, and the illusion of time and space and all of these things. And it's not woo-woo stuff. Some people think this, and that's fine. And it's those who are experiencing it, right, know it not only to be true, but it's felt. It's not made up in the mind, right? Although there are people like this, right, who are trying to tap into things without really tapping into things, if that makes sense, which is a whole other topic for a different time. But anyway, we all have experience, I'm sure, what happens when there's a full moon, for instance, how that it affects the planet, and also how it affects things in this planet, including ourselves, how it energetically that has an effect on the planet. And you can even take a look at, you can see, I forget the name of the website, you can probably Google it to see the frequency of the Earth. It's measurable. They have satellites and they can actually see how it changes, how it moves, and when there's in certain areas, when there's things happening, such as war or things like that, you can actually see how that area, the vibration, the energy, which is measurable, is. And so this we also understand, we know to be true. And same thing when there's a Mercury retrograde, right? There are these things where people laugh like, oh, it's retrograde, don't plan a trip, or technology fails, or all these things, and it happens. Maybe not everyone experiences, or maybe perhaps not everyone is aware of it, but it happens, and that's why it exists. And it's not just woo-woo stuff, it's real. If you're willing to look into it, if you're willing to observe, if you're willing to open yourself and just observe, don't attach anything to it. When these times come, like for me, like I don't even know when there's a retrograde as far as like looking online when it is, but I feel it. I'll feel it, and then I'll look and I'm like, okay, that makes sense why this aligns, right? Which is different. But anyway, so these are things that happen that are pretty well known, right? That people talk about and joke around about. But these are, one, the moon, and then Mercury, right, being a planet in which it affects It affects the earth. It affects the energy, because those two, that moon and that planet, are also carry and have their role, right, in the solar system, and they have their own energy. That's just a fact. This is not an idea, it's a fact. And so anyway, so every single planet and every single moon and every single vibrating object in our solar system that is part of it, that is in this dance, right, in this rotation, in this cycle that is around the sun, plays a role. And there are reasons why some planets takes longer to rotate. There are planets who are further out versus closer in to the sun, which it affects everything as far as also how quickly they rotate, and so on and so forth. I don't want to go too deep here within the physics, but I'm just bringing it down, right? Bringing a little bit more of the science part as well here, so then we can dive into the other side of it. And so there is this understanding. And so beyond that is where the magic sauce is, where this is where, like I was expressing to you, these ancient civilizations understood this because they connected with these energies, and they knew when those alignments of those planets, moons, etc. happened. They knew that there was a certain energy present, and they received, or they connected with it, and they were able to receive and be in connection with what was happening on the universe. And so now that there's 8 billion people on this planet, there's a lot of souls, there's a lot of energy. There's also a lot of energy as far as the amount of technology, the satellites, the Wi-Fi, the 5G, the telephone, everything. There's a lot of actual energy that is man-made, that is roaming around, that it affects everything in our planet and beyond. And equally, there's also, because of these things, there's also individually people and how they're engaging, with social media, how they're engaging with these different types of energies that are more and more accessible nowadays than before, where it was just 200 years ago. It was very different. And so all of this plays a role. It plays a role in our ability to connect. And why I'm saying this is that it can also be, this is why it feels so difficult sometimes for people to connect. Or if they've never done meditation, why it can feel so difficult to tap into it. Because we are constantly stimulating the mind. We are so much in the mind, and we're engaging with so much energy just here, but we're not connecting with our hearts. We're not connecting with our bodies. We're not connecting with our spirit, with our soul. We're not connecting with the living creatures on this planet, as well as this planet, and let alone the cosmos, the stars, the moon, the sun, etc. And so this is important because even though all of this is happening, all of this is a reality, when these planets align like this, it's almost like a mega, everything's amplified, because there's no longer here and here, right? It's all directly one. So the one amplifies this one, and this planet, and this planet, and this planet, and so on and so forth. And it's just this frequency of amplification, and we're part of it. The thing is, though, We are one small planet in of course, the vastness of the universe, but also in this alignment. While we are powerful, of course, all of these other planets combined together is a much larger frequency. And so, that being said, don't be surprised if during that tomorrow, when the alignment starts fully, if technology starts to go wonky. Don't be surprised if things just feel different and you cannot explain what that different is because you've never experienced it before. Don't be surprised if there is things within yourself that you feel that's being amplified, whether that is positivity or negativity, because everything is being amplified. And as the rotation comes to an end and a new one begins, it's also the cycle, right? The cycle, the energetic cycle that took place individually for those planets, moons, and stars, etc., as well as ourselves as humanity, as well as the earth. And so this is important to note. And what may have happened, for example, like 200 years ago and then the 200 years before that, right, is different each time because the earth is also changing and within itself. So there is changes within the earth, just focusing on the earth only in this example, that is happening. We are also getting further away from the sun as time goes by, right? All of the planets are. So there is a lot of things here that come into play that it will bring new energy, new experiences, and it is powerful. And so to pause there for a moment, I just want to say that this is, if you're tuning into this, if you're listening into this, is also for a reason, right? Just as the reason as I'm being called here and taking time out of my life, right, to share, to hop on this camera and microphone and everything to share this with you, because it matters, because we are here and we are part of this, and it does matter. And it's a beautiful opportunity to don't miss out on the reason as to why we are part of this, right? And I don't want to influence this in any way as far as like what that could be for you, but I do feel, at least within myself, and that many people are feeling this unknown but yet clear pull around this day and what's to come from this moment forward. And so one of the things that I want to talk about now is as far as like how to engage with this energy. And the first thing that I'm going to say to you is that this is an opportunity. Much how we think about or we approach things like the new year. For every new year, like, okay, people have New Year resolutions and all these things, right? There's a lot of psychology around this, but this is kind of big. Right? It's not like every year this happens. So it is an opportunity to start fresh. And with the idea of starting fresh, the only way to do that is to transmute what needs to let go and transmute into a higher vibration, and to work with the field of the amplification that's going to be here to do those things. Because when the field is amplified, yes, it might be, for example, if things come up within yourself, like wounds or trauma or things like that, you might feel them so intensely, right? However, if you work with that, you're also can can heal things that could take years to heal, for example, that would take a lot more effort and a lot more energy to heal, because this is helping you. This is helping you to feel all the intensity, but also to work with it rapidly and to give you the other side of that intensity of that is beauty, that is elevation, that is enlightenment, right? That is expansion, that is connection. And so just keep in mind of this. I would say for myself, I'm going to be in nature as much as I can until the sun goes down, which then I'll be able to visually see it, right, with my eyes. However, knowing that day from tomorrow on, like it's already going to be pretty much right there. Like already the energy is already here actually, but it's going to be the locking of it soon, tomorrow. So why be in nature? Be in nature because it's the closest that we can be of being connected to our earth, which is also going to be vibrating a certain way and going to be affected a certain way within all this alignment. So by you connecting in nature, you're going to be able to also ground yourself and tune in to those energies and the energy that's being on here on this earth a lot easier. So that's the first thing I recommend, is being in nature, whether that's at the beach, whether that's at even a park, it doesn't matter. I mean, ideally somewhere where you can just, wherever you feel good, right? If you're able to do it, please, I highly encourage you to do this. Secondly, is while you're there, do your best to just be present. This doesn't mean like, okay, like, so do I just sit there and do nothing? I mean, kind of. We are so used to always stimulating ourselves. I have to do something. Even I see sometimes people in nature and they're on their phone and stuff like that. We just, again, there's no judgment. I'm just expressing an observation here. But when you are present and you can just put away the phone, at least when the sunset goes down and the planets are in vision, and just devote yourself a minimum of an hour to just close your eyes and just breathe, ground yourself, and just tune in. And if nothing happens, if you don't feel anything, that's okay. That's not the point. The point is that at a subconscious level, by you even doing that, you are opening yourself to that energy. And you may not feel anything at that moment, you may not see anything at that moment, but perhaps when you go to sleep, or perhaps the next day, or the days to come, you start to feel, you start to notice a difference within yourself. So there is also the importance of letting go of expectations. Don't try to seek something, just observe. Be open, ground yourself. It's a very important part of it, grounding yourself, and be present. Remember how like what an honor this is, even if you're just watching it, right? To be able to be a witness of that and to be able to tell your kids or grandkids or whatever, to put it in that way, that you experienced that, and how amazing that was to be able to experience such a unique event. That's like a super surface level away that I'm just throwing out there at minimum. But even within that, if you devote that time, I promise you, even by observing it, it's gonna move things within yourself. Or third thing that I would recommend is a good opportunity to also take a journal or to do a prayer or things like, however you connect with yourself and putting intentions, intentions of, I want to let go of things in this cycle, in this new cycle that's coming through in our solar system. Like I want to be, ask yourself and put it out there that you want to be supported more. Maybe for supported spiritually, maybe to be more confident, maybe to release blockages, maybe to heal and let go of old stories and things from the past. Open yourself to new energy, to have courage, to strengthen your faith. All these things. And the list goes on and on and on. But be clear also. What is it within yourself? What awareness do you have within yourself of where you are today? And what are the opportunities for you to let go of things that are not serving you? Or what are the things that you have awareness of that are anchoring you, are keeping you from being free or feeling free? So this is also a very important thing. And lastly, just 4 things. Lastly, whenever you're done, take a moment to place your right hand over your heart, okay? And just take a deep breath and just be grateful. Take a moment to just be grateful for all the things you feel grateful for. Don't just check the box. Tap into gratitude. Be grateful that you're alive. Be grateful for having food in your stomach, for having a roof over your head, for being able to be alive, for the family and friends that you have, for your health, etc. Just everything you feel gratitude for. And from the place of gratitude, then set out a prayer or a message to humanity, to friends and loved ones that you care about, that are perhaps in need of those prayers. Whether it doesn't have to be that they're ill with sickness, but even that they're struggling, they're going through a hard time, and send that energy of goodness, of light, of blessings, of happiness, of peace, of support to those people, and then to the world. And that's how you close it, with using that energy to also push out beautiful things into the world, into the people you love. Working with that energy, not using it, but working with that energy to amplify those beautiful things. And I promise you, even if you just do this and you don't feel anything during this whole thing around the alignment and everything, even if you don't feel anything, you just did something really beautiful. You just did something really, really powerful. Not just for the people you love, but for humanity, for this world. And we need it. The world needs it. We need more of good thoughts, positivity, to raise the vibration. It's necessary. And so that would be my recommendation, for this big kind of portal. There's a lot of things I'm going to do a different episode around this that I want to share with you, that are going to be happening for the next couple of years. Things are going to get intense. And this is not for you to be scared. I'm not projecting anything negative. I'm just sharing with you what I feel. And with the idea of intense, it's for a good reason, right? And so there are things that are going to be very important during these times that you hone into. And if you are someone that you're watching that has been on a spiritual journey, on a self-connection journey, then this is all part of it. This is why, on a much larger scale, why this is also happening within yourself. It is for you, yes. It is for your ancestors, yes. It is for your lineage, for your family, yes. But it's also for humanity. And it's also the role that you're going to be playing as also the earth and all of consciousness is shifting into a different vibration. And things are going to be, surfacing. The planet is going to be expressing itself, cleansing different energies. The time has come. A cycle is ended and the new cycle is here. And so things have to, in order for things to evolve, things have to change. Now from humanity in this way, and no longer that time is up. We've had the chance. Now nature is going to do her thing. And there's nothing we can do about it, except for be in alignment, being connected, and to receive the guidance. And to understand what's happening. Not from the mind and from the place of fear and all these old ways of looking at things, but with an understanding of this purge, of this cleansing, of this renewal of energy that is necessary, not just here for us, for humans, but also on a cosmic level. And so I think I'll just leave it there for you. I hope that you found this helpful. And I know I'm uploading a little bit late, but I hope it reaches to you. And it doesn't matter if you see this 2 days after, like a Sunday or Monday. It doesn't matter, because you can still tap into the energy, because it's still going to be around, right? This is going to be the strongest starting tomorrow. That's the opening. But it's going to be around. And trust me, it's fine if you don't see this on Saturday. But still tune into it. There's still an opportunity for you to do the same thing on the day you hear this or the next day, and connect and do everything that I just expressed. Okay? So again, thank you so much. I'm going to be uploading another episode in the coming days where I'm going to be talking more about what we can expect and how to work with this new cycle. And I'm going to go deeper, a lot deeper, into opening up the channel and sharing and bringing perspectives, and also bringing to awareness, right, of how to work with this energy and what's to come. All very exciting things. Nevertheless, it's going to come with some thunder. So be ready. All right, ladies and gentlemen, stay blessed, stay humble, and as always, be kind to yourself and know that you are loved. Until next time.